Someone once paid more than $9 million for a comic book that originally cost 10 cents. Not a house, not a yacht, a comic book, paper, ink, staples, and a superhero on the cover. The kind of thing a kid could have rolled up, shoved in a school bag, traded at lunch, or forgotten in an attic. That is the strange power of collecting. A normal object can sit quietly on a shelf for decades, then suddenly become a treasure, a trophy, a memory machine, an investment, and a piece of someone's identity all at once. The weirdest part is not that some people collect. The weirdest part is that almost everyone collects something. Sneakers, watches, vinyl records, Pokemon cards, stamps, coins, handbags, movie posters, old toys, signed shirts, concert tickets, even rubber ducks. To an outsider, it can look ridiculous. Why pay thousands for a card you will never play with? Why buy shoes and never wear them? Why spend years hunting one missing item just to place it beside 100 others? But to the collector, the object is not just an object, it is proof. Proof of taste, proof of patience, proof of belonging. Proof that they found something other people missed, and sometimes proof that a part of their past can still be held in their hands. Collecting is the art of turning ordinary things into emotional currency. At the simplest level, collecting means gathering objects that feel connected. A full set of coins, every album from one artist, every rare card in a series, every version of a sneaker in one colorway. One item is a purchase. 10 items become a shelf. 50 items become a private world with rules, goals, gaps, and status. That is where the psychology begins. Human beings love completion. We notice missing pieces. You may not care about a random stamp, but if you already own 99 out of 100 stamps in a set, that final stamp suddenly feels important. It becomes the key that closes the loop. This is why people chase full sets, limited editions, numbered releases, rare variants, and perfect grades. The collection gives the mind a mission. And missions are addictive. There is a thrill in the hunt. You search, compare, wait, negotiate, refresh listings, lose auctions, win auctions, and sometimes find the thing you wanted when you were not even looking. That moment feels like luck, skill, and destiny at the same time. A collector does not just buy the item, they buy the story of how they found it, and stories are what make collections emotional. A person who grew up watching Pokemon may not just see a Charizard card, they see Saturday mornings, schoolyard trades, the feeling of opening a booster pack and hoping the shiny card appears. Years later, when they have adult money, that card becomes a bridge back to a younger version of themselves. That is nostalgia, and nostalgia is one of the strongest engines in collecting. It is not just remembering the past, it is wanting to touch the past. It is wanting to prove that the things that shaped you still matter. That is why old toys, games, comics, jerseys, and records can explode in value decades later. The kids who once wanted them become adults who can finally afford them. But nostalgia is not the whole story. Collecting also gives people control. Life is messy, careers change, relationships change, money comes and goes, the world feels unpredictable, but a collection is something you can arrange, protect, expand, and understand. You decide what belongs, you decide what is rare, you decide what counts as complete. That is why collectors care about details that sound ridiculous to everyone else. The box condition, the print run, the serial number, the manufacturing error, the grading score, the signature, the tiny difference between two versions that most people would never notice. To outsiders, it is nitpicking. To collectors, it is meaning. Collecting rewards attention. It says, I know something you don't. And that knowledge creates status. Every collecting world has status symbols. A rare item is not only valuable because it is rare, it is valuable because other people in the community understand what it means. A person can wear an expensive watch in public and most people will not notice, but another watch collector will notice instantly. That tiny moment of recognition is part of the reward. And access is everything. Anyone can buy a common item, but not everyone can find the rare one. Not everyone was early, not everyone knows the right seller, not everyone waited in the queue, not everyone has the patience to search for years. That is why scarcity is the oxygen of collecting. If there are millions of something, most people do not care. But tell people there are only 100, or 10, or 1. Suddenly, the same object changes, same material, same function, completely different emotional charge. Scarcity creates urgency, it creates competition. It makes people think, if I don't get it now, I may never get another chance. Brands know this, auction houses know this, platforms know this. That is why limited drops, numbered editions, secret releases, waitlists, and exclusive collaborations work so well. They do not just sell a product, they sell the feeling of getting through a locked door. The economics of collecting are built on 4 ingredients: scarcity, condition, story, and demand. Scarcity means there are not many available. Condition means the object survived better than others. Story means it connects to a moment, person, brand, or cultural memory. Demand means enough people care at the same time. When all four collide, prices can become absurd. A Superman comic found in a California attic sold for over $9 million because it was old, rare, beautifully preserved, and tied to one of the most famous characters ever created. That is not just paper anymore, that is mythology with a grade. A Pikachu Illustrator card became famous because it was a prize card connected to a specific contest with very few copies, and one of the strongest nostalgia engines in pop culture behind it. Kanye West's Nike Air Yeezy prototypes sold for millions because they were not just shoes. They marked a cultural shift where sneakers, celebrity, fashion, music, and collecting crashed into each other. A Honus Wagner baseball card has sold for millions because it sits at the center of sports card mythology. At that level, buyers are not just buying cardboard, they are buying a seat in the history of collecting itself. And when Jane Birkin's original Hermes Birkin sold for around $10 million, the buyer was not paying for leather alone. They were paying for Origin, the first version of a bag that became a global symbol of luxury and access. That is the secret. Collectors pay for meaning stacked on top of material. A bag carries things. A collectible bag carries status. A card shows a picture. A collectible card carries childhood, rarity, community, and competition. A shoe protects your foot. A collectible shoe carries culture, but here is where things get dangerous. Collecting can look like investing, but it does not always behave like investing. Prices can rise fast because people believe they will keep rising. That belief attracts more buyers push prices higher, higher prices create headlines, headlines create more buyers, and suddenly a hobby starts to look like a gold rush. This is how markets heat up. Comics, cards, sneakers, watches, luxury bags, toys, and digital collectibles have all had moments where people stopped asking, "Do I love this?" and started asking, "Can I flip this?" The emotion changes, the collection becomes a portfolio, the hobby becomes a hustle, but sometimes it collapses. The Beanie Baby craze is the warning label printed across the whole collecting world. In the 1990s, people believed little plush animals could become retirement plans. Some were stored in plastic cases like museum artifacts. Families bought duplicates, prices climbed, then the market cooled, and many of those future treasures became ordinary toys again. That does not mean collecting is foolish. It means emotional markets are fragile. Value depends on belief, and belief can change. A rare item is only valuable if people still want it. A limited edition release only matters if the culture around it stays alive. This is why collecting is so fascinating. It sits between love and speculation, between memory and money, between identity and market behavior. People collect because they want to own a piece of something bigger than themselves. Even strange collections make sense when you look closely. Someone with thousands of rubber ducks is not just hoarding bathroom toys. They have built a personal universe, a colorful, specific, joyful obsession that gives them a story no one else has. And maybe that is what collecting reveals about us. We like to believe we buy things because they are useful. But collecting exposes a deeper truth. Humans are meaning-making machines. We attach emotion to objects. We turn things into symbols. We use possessions to organize memory, express identity, measure status, and feel connected to other people. A collectible is never just a collectible. It is a time capsule, a badge, a bet, a story, a little piece of control in a chaotic world. So the next time you see someone paying a shocking amount for a comic, a card, a sneaker, a watch, a bag, a toy, or a stamp, the easy reaction is to say, "That's insane," but maybe the better question is, what are they really buying? Because the answer is rarely the object. They are buying the chase, the memory, the identity, the status, the proof that they were part of something, the feeling that this one thing out of all the things in the world belongs with them, and that might be the real psychology of collecting. It is not about owning objects. It is about convincing ourselves that some pieces of the world are worth keeping. Thanks for watching. If you missed the previous part, check out video 2 first to understand the full flow. Don't forget to continue with the next video.